Oh, 100% agree. Like,
Yeah.
this is like the messiest people because like Marx and Genesis are very coordinated, so it's gonna be so funny.
Exactly.
For
It's
real.
like
Uh,
it's so uncoordinated that we're not even going to start with an intro. We're just going to get into it. So, hello
wait,
everyone, welcome
what?
Hey.
Wait, what?
to the
Hi.
Disventure Dispatch bonus episode. Today it's just me, Tam, and Emer. Miriam, she got the Infinity Stones, and Thanos snapped us. So now it's only half of us. I guess three-fifths of us, but still.
Yeah.
I can't do math.
Watch the episode free analysis, like get that reference.
So, yeah. So today we're going to be talking about the a retrospective of Disventure Camp season 2. Because wait, actually no, never mind. That's a lie. For Tam, it was her first season. For me and Emer, we joined during the beta, I think. Um,
Yeah.
so who wants to start with
Yes.
let's begin with our origin story, how we discovered this series. Who wants to start?
Oh, for me, I was like usually just scrolling on YouTube and then I see a community post. It's like this show called Total Drama Adventure. It's pretty good. I heard it was like saying it's animated. I was like, all right, let me click on it. Then I see there's like a English dub of only episode one, and there's like these 7 episodes in the Spanish dub. So I watched like the English dub, and it was an experience to say the least with some of the voice acting. Like I was like hoping on like some characters to go home, like Miriam, just for the voice. But then I watched the Spanish stuff. It was like late at night. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna binge it, and I binged it all right. Like I was like watching this. I was like, wait, what's happening here? Like, and it put me for a spin to say the least. And then like I followed through. Then I saw like for afterwards, like after they finished season AC, which I had voted for a finalist. I voted for Ellie, which is very funny because that did not happen again regarding like another season.
Yeah,
But
because there's no voting. That's why it didn't
I
happen
de-
again. There's no viewer
well,
voting.
like picking a
Uh,
finalist because I picked Miriam and then I was like Fiore. But what happened afterwards is I stayed tuned, and I saw there was a lot of like voice auditions for other projects that didn't fall through with ONC. But then they announced the second season of like Adventure Camp. I was like, we're getting a second season, and it was like a new host. It was very interesting, and I saw like these character silhouettes also. So I just followed through. I auditioned, didn't get a role. What you gonna do? And then
Oh.
I enjoyed DC too, and it was an experience that was better than AC, I'll say. And am excited, and I've stayed since because I'm still here until 2023. So
the highest of
it worked
Yes.
out.
the highest of bars, is better than AC. It's a great bar.
Yeah, exactly. The bar.
Right.
So once again,
Okay, well, I guess it was I think it was like around March 2022. Um every so often I just like rewatch Total Drama. I've been a fan of that since like 2007,
let me
so I
correct
grew
you.
up with
You would
it.
rewatch Total Drama season 1 and only season 1, right?
Ah! Shut up. True, but like let's not get into that. Um Yeah, so then I found it like through my like on YouTube one day on my suggested videos, and I was like, "Oh, what's this? It looks like very clean and stuff." I wasn't used to like any like other Total Drama fan mades before. So I clicked on it and then I watched like the first episode of DC2. And I was amazed. I was like, "Okay, this is pretty good." And then okay, not to be that person, but I was I was attracted to the show mostly because of Jaden. I wanted to know what would happen with that because I was like, this seems a little fruity. So I just I was like, I'm curious in their plot. And then watching it, I don't believe I was interested in any other character, to be honest. But
Yeah.
the character
No
designs
other
were really
character.
good.
You weren't into any character in DC2.
That was later though. That was later.
Until after the character got
The
booted,
funniest
she got
thing.
interested in them.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yeah, exactly.
absence makes the heart go
Yeah.
fonder, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Tied
I
to your
was a fool.
heart.
I was a fool. So, and then yeah, I just like I went to their Patreon. I was like, "Okay, let me support this." And then I kept following the episodes, and by I think episode 3, I was like, "Wow, oh my gosh, I need to be more involved in this like fandom and stuff. Like I need to talk about my feelings." And so I joined the Discord, and then it went That was it. Like I just became a part of the fandom, and those 2 years were like really great, full of chaos for real. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, not even. Oh yeah, one.
Yeah, you're
Wait,
not
it's
2
not.
years
It's
Basically.
not
yet.
March
You cannot get
2022.
that seniority.
I'm also getting kind
Mhm.
of like Mandela affected. I thought it was March 2022. It's actually May 2022, so 2 months off.
Oh,
I always thought it was March.
wait,
I'm
for real?
surprised. Yeah, May
For the
2022.
first
Yeah.
episode?
Yeah,
Oh, I was thinking
Yeah,
it's March.
I'm pretty sure it was May.
Okay.
No, I
yeah.
thought it was May the whole
Oh.
time. I was like, "Where did you get March 22 from?"
Okay.
No, I always assumed it was March,
Oh,
but it was May. That's surprising. I just looked.
right. Okay,
Right.
you got that too. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I remember I
Like,
was off of school then. Okay.
Because like I
Okay.
associate
Yeah.
it with the pandemic starting, but yeah, no, it was 2 months into the
Mhm.
pandemic. Um.
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Damn.
because
Okay.
it was a weird thing with the releases with the start, which is like why there's like a funny gap for
yeah,
episode 1 and 2 because it was like meant as a pilot and it became a full series. So
that's true. And
Wow.
we'll talk about this more later, but that might be why DC2 is more memorable, at least for me, because it took a full year. It took May till April 2023,
Exactly.
whereas
Yeah.
DC1 only took June to December, so only 6 months, right? This one took 12 months.
Mhm.
yeah, the
Right.
fast pace then definitely like makes it like feel like a blur. But when you're like cherishing these small episodes, it's like you know more about it because they're
Yeah.
just very delayed release. So it definitely goes to show like things regarding like the fandom's memories.
Yeah, those like
Yeah.
first 6 episodes, like everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people could like quote them from memory because they were the only 6 episodes we had, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Right.
It
Exactly.
was super quotable.
Yes.
Like every line was like a Bible verse. Like they all held so much meaning. Like even filler lines meant so much. Like
Right. Yeah,
I
and
can't
during
even
those 6
remember a
episodes,
line
there
by
was, like, the
heart.
whole thing with, like well, we'll get into it later, but, like, the lawsuit and then the comics and stuff, so,
yeah,
like, there was a whole bunch of, like,
there's a whole lot of drama.
production, like, transitions and stuff. Yeah, you just had to hold on for the ride. It was crazy.
So I think what happened. So for me, my story, and I'm the last one here, but was I think in 2021 there was the beta Adventure Camp. I didn't watch it because to me it looked like because I've seen so many like human-based fan projects in the past. I'm like, this is nothing special. And then I saw like Ellie bald, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? There's like a child and Ellie bald. I was so confused. I was like, I'll watch it. Screw it. Saw the English dub. I really did not like it, not because it was bad, but because of Miriam's voice. Because one,
Dang.
Miriam's voice, two, because of
Okay.
Dan had like 3 lines he had voted out. I was like, what is this? What kind of 2009 shit is this? And I binged the whole season in one night, and I was like, wow, that was an experience. That was definitely an experience. And I never thought about. I stayed subscribed, but I never thought about it again. And then a couple of months later, there's auditions. I signed up. I got the role as Kai. That was the one voice that I was like sure I wasn't gonna get because the voice I used was really annoying. But that's the one I actually got.
You're an annoying individual. I'm joking.
So the thing with how
Dang.
Jared I think did it was that he was like, "Oh, you're in the cast," but he wouldn't tell you who you were for like 5 days. So I was in suspense for like 5 days. I was like, "Wait, who am I? Who am I?"
Seriously? Oh,
So I didn't know
That's
it was Kai.
hilarious.
And yeah, no, and then I got the script and I voiced it, and people hated it, so I changed the voice in episode 2 because everyone hated it so much. That's about it.
And it has became history for Kai's amazing voice.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so yeah, no. So my story is a little different because I actually got to see the scripts, but when we eventually do the retrospective of DC1, then Genesis will have the unique story to tell, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But so yeah, no, we all came into the fandom around the same time, I think, right? May 2022.
Yes.
May
Mhm.
2022.
May
2021 for
2022.
me. Like I forget when. I have to check the. Oh, I can't even check the release date because it's like all the videos got taken down.
Yeah.
And on the
Yeah.
other channel.
I really started getting
But-
active, like, at the end of the year, though. Like, probably
Yeah, something
October.
2021. I think it's like probably like May 2020 or like June. I don't remember. It's been a blur.
At least for me, the big boom was around, ironically enough, the episode 7, DC2 episode 7, which is
Mm.
I remember I did a live stream and I was reacting. I got really mad at the end, and so I joined.
Yeah.
I got really mad at
yes.
the end because of what happened,
I
and
think I was in that live stream.
so I joined the call as a joke, and then like everyone else joined the call because like, oh my god, it's Kai.
Yeah.
I remember Michael joined as well, and It was kind of like a therapy session because like everyone was kind of not offended, but like hurt by the elimination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, and that was like one of the first times like production was like involved in like the fandom really
Yeah.
that closely. So it was a shock for real. It's
I
like you
remember
guys feel
like
the same way too? Oh my god.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I remember just like chilling in that call. It was like so funny, like to watch it go down, like all the chaos that was in it. Like so many like test all stars requests like they were wanted right after that episode aired in the voice call.
And
Yeah.
that was for like 9 hours, I think. Me and Tam, because like, me
Yeah.
and Tam were the only ones who were talking. Really, we talked for like 9 hours.
It was 9 hours.
And I would like say like
Yes.
giant stuff, and Tam would be like, "Yes, yes, yes, yes."
Yeah, I was like,
over and over again.
oh my god. Hyping you up
Yeah.
so bad. And then the memes we were making.
Yeah, we made a lot of memes.
It was funny.
But yeah,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
that was great. The origin of yes.
Yes.
So-
yes.
So yeah, no, it really escalated from there. But yeah, that's how we all met each other more or less, and then yeah, we stayed pretty close until today. But now we hate each other, which is why we're doing a podcast together, of course.
Yeah, exactly. It just all ends here.
Yeah, this is the last day of our friendship. This commemorates the last day.
Yeah. Everyone they're waving the white flag because we're all giving up this friendship.
Yeah, this is
just, like, this is the last arcade of footage.
This is the grand finale. But yeah, no, without further ado, why don't we go episode by episode here? We're not going to spend too long in each episode because there's a lot of episodes. There's 13 of them. But yeah, so season 2, episode 1, no name because they deleted the names. I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember what it was called?
It was called
I
the
don't
Pilot,
know.
I think. I think it was just called Pilot. That's what I remember.
Oh, pilot. Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
So
I don't know why they removed the names.
I think it's the YouTube algorithm.
I feel like
It
they
just
could've-
doesn't do well with names.
But here's the
Aw.
thing, though. What they could have done is, like, for the opening credits with the start of a scene, you know how, like, Total Drama does, like, to show the names? That's what they could have done. So it's like,
Right.
even if they don't have it on the thumbnail, they can have it in the episode recording. And I
Right.
think people would really appreciate that. But instead, it's just like, nope, you gotta remember all these numbers now by heart. And it's like, yay.
That's why I always
Right.
refer to it as like DC3 episode 12 or other like archaic names. You know, I want to give them titles, but they're not titles.
I know.
Now it's like
God.
DC Free
They're
episode
fun
15. What happened there?
Yeah.
You just gotta
It's, like,
count your
lame.
fingers. It's like,
to, like,
counting like
remember
non-elimination, James, Lake, whoever goes next.
And it's funny because if you say like Total Drama World Tour episode 21, no one will know what that is. You know what I mean? Like they'll be like, "What's your
Exactly. You won't. Yeah. Dang, that is true.
But yeah, we have to use their. It's like when your mom calls you by your full name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come here,
Episode
Well,
21, come here.
Imer Thomas Williams. Come to your room right now.
Here, Thomas.
Oh,
Is that your actual name?
Not you adding up. Right.
nowhere near. Like, no.
He's
Oh,
watching
God.
me on his shoulder.
Yeah, Imer has like Imer probably has
God.
like a cool name like Ignacio or something. Like his full name is like Ignacio.
No. It's definitely can't flash it that much.
Anyway, so episode 1, what you guys think? Let's get the elephant out of the room. When we first saw it, we were like, the lip syncing sucks. That was the first thing we
Yeah. I was like, why is
Here's
this
the
so
thing,
off?
I was so happy with the animation quality because when you watch AC, the characters look kind of blobby to a sense. Like some of the eyes, like the hair is very
You
less
see,
You're right,
detailed.
you're
yeah, the beta
It's
has the
just a
uncanny
huge
valley
jump.
effect. It has the uncanny valley effect.
Yeah.
The beta.
Like when you see like side profiles, front facing, like it's very like impressive. So even though like the lip sync was kind of rough, I think overall it was very like a huge thing at the time for the animation because we didn't really have any like total drama animation stuff like this. Like we had Reunion, but Reunion was short lived, and I think it's coming back in end of February. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for like DC, this was a huge thing at the time because we never had like a full on competition episode, and this was like really big. That
Yeah.
was like this animated quality.
Yeah. I didn't really mind like the differences in voice quality or mic quality, really. But I know it was very noticeable to YouTube commenters.
Yeah,
And
and
that was a big
Yeah,
the
I don't.
reason why is because they're Spanish and they're used to, or Jared and Robert are used to getting Western imports where when it's dubbed into Spanish, obviously
Right.
it won't sync, right? It's like like how anime dubs don't sync with the lip sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So I guess they assume that, like, Western people would be used to it, but we're not, because we're used to getting Western shows in English, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. When did they start syncing it,
I think
really?
episode
Episode
3
2.
or episode 2 even, yeah.
Oh,
3?
3? Yeah, 2.
3.
The only thing with 2 is just
That
the
sounds
music, but that will go into later when we get to that episode.
Yeah,
That music.
but yeah, the lip syncing is bad. They did fix it in there's a remastered version of episode 1 where they fixed it, and it's great. But yeah, when it came out
Yeah.
in May, it was pretty. A lot of people are like, "What the
Yeah.
heck is?" It's also the most viewed episode as well, 1 million views, which is amazing.
Dang. Yeah.
You gotta appreciate the
Sure.
classics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think in the grand scheme of things, episode 1 might honestly be my favorite episode. It's a nice start, and it's very inoffensive. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
Not my
Yeah.
one of my
Okay.
favorites. One of my favorites.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, I was gonna
there.
say, like, favorite. It's a solid pilot. I do feel like
Yeah.
it's kind of like, but the writing, like, it's like okay, like obviously, like they don't know what they're gonna do with direction. I feel like I think it does have solid setup though. Like I think
Right.
well, could it be better? Sure. Like anything could be better if you like think about it. Because this is like hindsight is 2020 for something as a start as this. But I think at the time for them starting at an English jump, so where like sometimes like dialogue won't land, I think it was pretty solid for a pilot. And I think it gets the ball rolling, even if people can have things with it. But I think this was a solid episode all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also like the setup. And I think their different personalities were portrayed well in this episode too.
And I think what was innovative and I still think is innovative now is just the difference in ages. You have people like Connor and Carol who are not
Right.
teenagers. Even in the beta, you had Fiora and Miriam, for example. But I
Yeah.
think here, because a million people saw it, they're like, "Oh wow, this is different." They're not all teenagers.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I
I was
know.
amazed at that too. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, there's not that many limitations anymore. Really, what you can do with it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because there's no more teenage couples. It's not like young adults. Now the older adults having
Right.
like relationships or like just
Yeah.
like rivalries with an older person and younger person. That's like never seen before in a total drama
Right.
type setting. So Disventure Camp has like a huge like fighting like difference due to that because of this factor and like many different backgrounds. Before everyone's just in Canada, but now that we have people like James who is in Brazil, Ria in India, Rosa in Mexico, and I feel like that really helps bring out the diversity and types of casting. And I do love how Disventure Camp decided not to do the whole Canada thing fully, but decides to like take risks like that. And I think it really paid off in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know that people didn't appreciate it before, but I love the inclusion of like the different accents as well, like from VA
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do
I
think
appreciate them a ton.
that was
Yeah.
unintentional, just because a lot of, especially the female people who auditioned, were just so happened to be more Spanish, because Odd Nation Cartoons was a more Spanish community at the time. So I don't think they did it on purpose, but it does help, definitely, right? Even if it wasn't intentional, right?
Right.
But I think that was great.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, yeah, not totally westernized. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, DC1, everything's whitewashed. That's
The
not
white,
Oh,
oh yeah, because they never
that's
they
not
didn't
entirely
think of
true, right?
diversity at the time.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so I don't know. Let's all talk about like standout scenes or little things that we observed in episode 1. Because it's a pilot, there's a lot of like early installment weirdness, if you know what I mean. That there's stuff in the pilot that doesn't happen elsewhere. There are a lot of interactions like that, right? For example, Kai and Lake,
Yeah.
Kai and Rosa, Ali and Connor, for example, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
What else do you make of that?
Wait. What was that pairing you said just now?
Ali and Connor.
Allie and Connor.
Oh, okay,
The
yeah.
little
Yeah,
switch
we
thing.
never got to see anything of that. Yeah.
Because like that's all shows. For example, I think in Phineas and Ferb, like in the first in the pilot episode, Phineas is like an asshole. Right? That's like not a thing
Right.
ever. So I think it's
Yeah.
interesting that this series has a very traditional pilot episode.
Mhm.
What other things do you guys notice with this episode?
Well, I like how the bonding scenes definitely stood out to me. I think like the chill time that they had like in the cabins and stuff really helped bring out like the more dynamic relationships between these characters. Especially like I love the little like stair scene where they're
Oh,
like
yeah.
sitting on the yeah
Yeah,
on
that
the
was a
stairs of the
cool one.
cabin.
I think when that scene happened, I was like, okay, I think we're in for a ride. I was like, I got faith in this show.
Right.
Now, sadly,
Yes,
there she
right?
is. The only real time it happens, but still.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
I know, yeah.
Like, look at
It's
that
like
group:
kind
I
of
Tess,
also love
we
like
did
Tess, Hunter,
yeah.
Yule, Rhea, Kai. It's like, what? That's such a
Right.
random group of 5. I love it.
yeah.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
like the whole running scene too, like with Connor, Rhea, Aiden, James, and Yule. Like you'll never see that group again. And it was such
Right.
an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it felt like a good mix of chill time and challenge.
yeah, and I think Kai makes a reference to Dawn from Toll Drama. He says, "Oh, Lake, you remind me of a friend." And it's like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about Dawn from Toll Drama.
Yeah.
It's a random reference.
Yeah.
It's like, I do
Oh
genuinely
my
wonder if
gosh.
the Fresh TV stuff didn't happen, if there would be like way more Total Drama references, because obviously Chris McLean is sort of part of the lore. In the beta, Nick is related to
Yeah.
Dakota from Total Drama, so it's like, what the fuck's going on here? Is there gonna be like Total Drama references?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't get that. Yeah.
And like
I
Aiden,
I mean,
definitely
it's
think
kind
they
of
wanted
cool.
to like appeal the fans at the time because it's like, oh wow,
Yeah.
I love Dawn. It's so cool to see a friend of hers. And then it's like, oh
I
wow,
didn't
Chris
get
is a
it.
cool host. Having the daughter, that's awesome. So I think they really wanted that like type of reaction to get out to make people interested in these characters.
yeah,
Even though
Right.
it's like you can't do it, like it's too risky. But now they've learned and I think it was cool at the time, but I'm glad it was like a good learning experience.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
the early episodes, like we have to remember that the first 3 episodes before the whole lawsuit thing was technically connected to the Total Drama verse. There's like really random Total Drama references.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I guess they realized they didn't really need to do that. I mean, like it stands alone by itself, like
They were very
pretty
lucky.
well.
They never referenced Chris. They never once say the name Chris. Like they're very
Yeah.
lucky.
Ouch.
Another thing I want to point out before we move on is that there's kind of like a dark theme that is only really referenced here and not elsewhere. I don't know if you guys noticed it. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Wait.
A dark
I feel like I
theme.
know that. I think I remember the theme. I just forgot it. Oh, this is the worst.
Okay, so Rosa and Lake are they're eating their food, and Rosa notices that Lake isn't eating. So it's like it's implied. Well,
Yeah, I remember
I
that.
assume that it's meant to imply that her
Yeah.
parents are like starving her for like her body size or anorexia or whatever.
Yeah. To keep like
Mhm.
exactly like she can't have any sunlight to keep her perfect pale skin. Eden, you can't have like any big figure. Like you can tell that was a huge thing.
Yeah.
This is like Rosa's being stable. I'm joking. I'm joking.
God.
Hey, I mean,
Ugh.
hey, it's true, but we're not gonna talk about
Nah,
that.
Yeah.
bruh.
But yeah, no. I mean, it's sort of indicative of like the darker themes, maybe not darker, but the more mature
Right.
themes. But this one in particular, I feel like
Yeah.
it doesn't go anywhere. Like, yes, Lake's parentage and stuff like that, but not really the eating part of it, right? At least I don't think.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets dropped.
I like the
later on.
idea of like having like little dark references that don't seem dark at times, which is like something I enjoy writing with Lake at time. I was like doing like a
Right.
rewrite. I'm like, I'm gonna sneak in a little dark thing, but that seems super kind. When in reality, it's like if you know, you know.
Yeah. So I just
Right.
think that's because like there's clearly setup. Like Rhea has confessional episode 1, and this actually kind of surprised me when I saw it, where she talks about she's a Bollywood actress. She needs money, stuff like that, right? Better roles. She doesn't want to be an extra
Yeah.
anymore.
That's what I was talking about this whole season when everyone slept on Rhea. I'm like, Rhea's gonna make finale. I've said it since episode 2. I was like, there's a confessional. She has like a very specific edit because it's like, why would they hype up this whole relationship with Rhea and Connor just to set her up to be on her own? Like this is like something that's sneaky because I know Jobber like to have this very hidden character at times. They did it with Miriam, so and I kind of called that one too a bit. And I was like, why is episode 3 Miriam's nothing like AC? Like Miriam and AC's like, I don't care you vote, I just want to sleep. It's like, or she wants to give up, but then this time Miriam's like, oh, as long as it ain't me, that's cool. And I was like, wait a second, like it's the same thing with Rhea to a sense when they edit her, because then it's like, oh, Rhea's like, she doesn't want to be involved in drama because she wants to go far, and she says that. early on. So it's very interesting of her gameplay self that comes later.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I thought that too. I thought that too about Rhea early on. I guess because she was just giving outsider vibes to me.
Yeah.
But then as the episodes went on, like in episode 6 or whatever, like when she started getting more in the background, I was like, oh my god, please just eliminate Rosa and Rhea already because they're not doing
Well,
anything.
I think
I
But I
remember you
get
having
like
that
they're annoying
talk.
us.
I definitely agree with you.
Well, I
Too.
remember us having that talk
By
through.
episode 6, it's like,
I
the hell are these guys doing? Like, Rosa gets a lot of screen time in
Yeah,
episode 1, but that's really it. Like, and she's important,
I
yeah,
but
told
not
you, yeah.
she's important, but not
Yeah,
with
Rosa's
screen
like
time.
the
You know what I mean?
yeah, Rosa's like the central of like Orange Team episode, and then she just goes back down. It's like no, Rosa's supposed to be
yeah.
seen as someone who's like running the thing, like the strings, like she's that kind of person. And they don't give her that edit. It's kind of like someone in
Right.
Survivor that will not be named, and because it's a big spoiler.
Yeah.
They
I
also have
actually don't know who you're talking about, Imer, to be honest. I don't know who you're talking about.
yeah, it's the new era. It's the new
Alright.
era. It's the new era. You wouldn't know. So it's fine. But yeah.
What I will say, and we're gonna get into this a bit more later, but I do feel that what I don't like is how all the female characters kind of, well, except for Carol, kind of have this very feel bad for me traumatic backstory. And DC nowadays
That is
Yeah.
true.
gets kind of criticized for overdoing the trauma dumps and stuff. And I think it really does start here in DC too, where like all the women characters have some big backstory. And that's realistically people will have sad backstories, but I think that in this sort of goofy show when all the male characters are just fucking around and having fun and all the female characters are suffering, it's like, what's going on here? What's going on here?
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
lay it on thick. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Allie with the grandpa, Tess with the depression, Rosa with the child, the child, Rhea with the money, Maggie with her existence,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Lake with the
I love
Yeah,
parents.
that
Maggie.
I
It's like, why are all the females just, traumatic?
And it's hard.
I
Can you
know.
like even if you like make a rewrite, it's like you kind of gotta keep it around them. That's like such a huge personality. The character is the trauma, so it's like, oh, how do you dig around this? So it's like you can like kind of like space it out, but still, it's always gonna be like a thing consistent with their whole archetype. So it's like a huge problem.
Yeah. What I like about DC one is that it's more balanced, right? It's more, you have characters like Fiore who they don't really. Well, I guess they do have backstories, but it doesn't really affect them, right?
Mhm.
I guess you can say. I guess you
Yeah.
can say Allie because Allie doesn't get affected at all because she's just a nothing character. But what can you do?
Right.
What can you do? I think we should move on now to episode 2. I think we've spent too long, but it's the first episode, so it gets a pass.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, one more thing. Hunter says. Hunter has like confessionals that are very strategic, and I want to put a pin on that for now. I want to put a pin on that for now.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I can get people to like me, they won't want to vote me out.
Yeah.
Kind of awkward, but it's my thing to socialize.
It was
I was like, oh, this guy's a
Hunter's
brain.
making all
I like
these
this guy.
new interactions.
I was like, this
Right.
guy's got a brain. I like him.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Spoiler, he does not.
Moving on.
Oh god.
Episode 2.
Episode 2, he just gives up.
Episode 2, the Awake-a-thon. Now, right off the bat, episode 2 being an Awake-a-thon. I'm like, bro, why are you copying Total
Yeah.
Drama? What is this?
Right,
And
I'm
also,
like,
the angry
no.
woman gets voted out as well. It's like, what? What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
What happened?
Yeah,
It's
that bit, I was
true.
like the biggest eye roll in the world.
Right.
And it sucks because they really had a huge chance to break the stereotypes of like total drama type writing, but decided to stick with it because they're like, oh, it's not broken. Why don't we just do it again? It's like,
Right.
stop doing it again. You can't
Yeah.
like follow something that's been done like 6 times.
You picked this Wake-a-thon of all things. Like, I know at the time I was just like, not this again. It's just like I'm
Same.
I'm waiting for you guys to deviate, not do these
Well,
tropes.
Yeah. And I don't know
God.
if you guys know this because I don't know if how much fan fiction you read, but the Awake-a-thon specifically being episode 2 is such a big like trope. It's such a big cliche. It's always done. It's always the episode
Yeah.
2. Like it's
That's
so annoying.
crazy.
Like if you go to any fanfic from 2010, no matter how original it is, episode 2 will always be the Awake-a-thon. It's so annoying.
That makes so
Mm.
much sense.
Yeah, imagine like writing a fanfic
not
with the
even that
Wake-a-thon.
good.
That'd be kind of bad.
Oh god. I mean, I guess it allows for good like bonding moments, but like I mean, it's
Yeah.
still not interesting.
It's
Like
just
the way
it's
that
not
they
a
execute it,
it's a
it's just
boring
not.
challenge. It's like just all
Yeah.
dialogue, no
Right.
substance. That's why I just don't think it should be ever done again. It's cute for like teenagers, like the first time at camp, they're gonna stay up late and talk. But when you do it again, it's just like, nah, it's not even a good challenge. It's just like a challenge that you can do that's just easy to write and move plots. But
Exactly.
like it's like
Yeah.
you can make another type of challenge similar to that regard to move a plot. And it's like,
Right. That's why
yeah.
episode 1 is already better than
I think we need to
this
put a. I
episode.
think we need to put a
Yeah.
pin in this because I think we forgot something. We forgot something in episode 1, guys. Oh my god, I forgot.
Wait,
Oh yeah.
We forgot the elimination.
Oh yeah.
We didn't even
oh,
talk about.
delivery. Oh,
Oh.
yeah. I was like, wait,
Oh,
are we
oh,
not going to talk about it?
I forgot.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really have
Okay.
any thoughts about it.
My thoughts is it's actually really.
Yeah.
I love the concept of an intern from a previous season.
That's
Playing
true.
the game. That's such a cool concept. And then he gets voted out and he has to be an intern again. I'm like, oh, I wish he was in the game for a bit longer,
Yeah.
but that's still cool. I
Yeah.
hope something
Yeah.
fun happens out of that. Put a pin on that
Yeah.
there. Emer, you got anything to
Just
say?
put in that also. I do feel like Oliver is such a fun archetype to work with, even if you can't work with him super long because he's Oliver. Like Oliver's never gonna be like a drama starter. He's never gonna be like when there's too many protagonists, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. You gotta throw some out, and Oliver's like the perfect one to throw out. So I would love Oliver to maybe go a little farther, but I do think first boot isn't like a bad thing. It's just like okay, like it feels
Yeah.
like very much like total drama-y with how they did Oliver, and I just can't like
Yeah.
I get it because it's like
Yeah.
oh because it's an intern. It's like Crystal needs more staff because Crystal's like what 3 people and 2 of them are just the bus drivers and the accountant. So it's like Crystal needs something to bounce off more, and Oliver has a connection with her dad, so it is an interesting dynamic
But they do nothing with
that
it.
would hopefully be
Yeah, I
explored.
know.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I felt like that situation as like a first boot was like a little weird to me as a first time viewer because I was like, okay, what's the standard for the eliminations for this show? Like, I don't know. I felt like it was a little weird, but then I was also excited about it because it was something different. But
That's true.
I don't know.
I think I don't
Yeah.
mind because I was like, yeah, this guy he's filler, whatever. And if he can be back as an intern,
Mhm.
he doesn't need to be contestant. But in
Right.
hindsight, you know,
Yeah.
You know.
why'd he get triggered by a tree? Why did he get triggered by a tree?
Oh, God.
Like,
It's so
that PTSD
dumb.
never comes back again.
as someone who's written and read so many fanfics from like 2012 to 2015 and all that stuff of total drama, it's just like that is such a stereotypical like, oh, you remember the character Sean, the zombie guy? It's like, oh, he thinks like the building is a zombie and he freaks out and he gets eliminated.
Right.
It's like, what are we?
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with
A
anything.
tree? Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking?
Why can't it be Crystal? He sees Crystal. He's like, oh no, it's Chris McClane. Ah!
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
feel like it'd be fun, like subversion, if you use like a fear, but they conquer their fear when you think they're just gonna fail. Because every show when they have a fear, they always like flunk if it's an early episode. I feel like that could be played off so
Right.
interestingly, but just no one ever does the risk, and it's like, no, we need an early boot. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, you can make the
It's
fear accept
definitely
the
just a
first
cop
boot,
out.
but it is just boring.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what's worse, the Oliver boot or like Will's boot in both the beta and DC one. It's like I don't know.
True. True.
I think Will's boot is worse. Not
It's true, but at
really.
least Fiore's not a tree.
That's-
Right.
Yeah.
That was just.
Fior's
it was
dialogue's so good and like Albert
stupid.
kills it, so it's like very fun to watch. But like for writing wise, I think Oliver's boot is more interesting if it's used. But yeah, it ain't used, so it's like when you're watching, I like if you watch like both at the same time, it's like all right, Oliver's boot's better. When we watch like the whole season, then it's like okay, Will's boot actually had like better dialogue and didn't have like a whole setup that wasn't needed at all. Like Will didn't need a setup for his boot. But yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah. I guess they were scared of making that direct connection. I guess.
I guess so. Anyway,
yeah.
back to episode 2.
Yeah,
Let's
back
go. Okay.
Episode 2. So
So.
yeah, last week talked about the Awake-a-thon. Aiden says something like, "Oh, this has already happened, but Now, again, this is back when Total Drama was still canon to the DC verse. Now it's not, so it's kind of
Right.
awkward.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of funny.
It is awkward.
Yeah.
The references just stopped. It's so funny.
Yeah, Aiden would like constantly subtly reference Total Drama, and now he can't. He legally,
Yeah, and now you
which is a shame because at least
like,
that was a
Total Drama,
personality
what's
trait.
that?
At least that was a personality trait, kind of. And now
Yeah.
it's gone.
It's gone.
That Aiden was an annoying person. He would always question Crystal stuff. Now it's like, I don't need the question after episode 3. I'm good.
Speaking of personality traits that go away, in episode 2, Rosa is talking about astrology with Maggie and Lake, and I think that's the last time it happens.
Last time.
Yeah, is that the last time they all talk as a group?
I think so. Episode 1, it has like, Taurus talk, and then they have the they talk about like Cancer.
Yeah, that's
Libra,
it.
And that's about it.
That's so weird. Dang, it's never brought up again.
Now,
the one things that make these characters interesting. I don't know.
Exactly. I will give some credit where credit is due, because I think we can all agree that when we first saw Tess, we were like, this is just Gwen, right? She doesn't want to be here, and eventually she grows to learn to want to be here.
Yeah.
We can all agree.
Yes.
What I will say is that in this Awakenathon, Tess is the first one to sleep. Usually, in canon, Gwen was the last one to fall asleep, right? So I was like, oh, that's nice. That's an interesting switcheroo.
Yeah. That's true, yeah. It says one that, that would have been way too much.
When Tessa's personality, you can tell she's not going to outlast. When there's especially people like Allie, who has a little Nintendo Switch in her face, like she carries so many of them. She's like, radiation is like her energy stores.
I think
right.
Well,
Jit doesn't want to be here.
I don't know, because I feel like in the early episodes, you might be like, "Oh, Tessa's a slow burn character. She'll like last till final 2, and eventually she'll be like, I want to be here now."
Right. Yeah. I know. That's why, I don't know. Yeah, I just
I saw Tessa's final 2. I was like, it'd be cool, but I'm like, not really. Like,
Yeah, I don't think I ever thought that.
Yeah.
Strangely enough.
I had her as like 6th place. I was like, all right, Tessa might make final 6, like near like an Aiden boot or something around there.
Right.
And it's like they just do like a psycho. But like that's for another. That's when we get to that episode. We're talking about episode 2. Anything else we should discuss?
Of episode 2?
Yeah, I think we could talk about the Kai and Yule fight.
Yeah.
That's like one of the few episodes that show like the dynamics of a team, like fighting, and it's like interesting because it's like, all right, Yule's like, oh, Kai, you're helping the other team, you should be punished. So I'm going to Rhea and Connor. And Connor's like, he's like, Kai, you gotta stop talking to other people, but Yule, stop judging people. And it's like Yule's like in like shock because it's like the first time Yule's ever been told off, and he has no response. Because like,
it's funny.
And then it's like, it's true though. Like then Yule has a confession. I was like, Kai's like not helpful at all. And then it's just like kind of scary. So.
I do think that, at least for me personally, it was good because like conflict's always fun to watch in these shows. But at the same time, I was like, I just talked to Maggie, and then you'll kind of overreact, and I get that's his character to like overreact, but it felt like too much, if you know what I mean. Like it felt like he was making a mountain out of a molehill, and I get it. I get that it's Yule. I understand that, but like I don't know. I felt like it could have been a little better.
I agree. Yeah,
it's like 2020.
Yeah,
I guess it I definitely love how it defined like the hierarchy within this team. It just like I think that argument showed Connor and Rhea's role in all this, and then definitely like how Kai by this point is definitely the outsider in the green team. And so it was interesting to watch. Like the green team was by this point was like definitely more interesting than the orange team.
Which one's green? Is green the one with Kai? Is green the one with Kai?
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think throughout the entire season, green is more. Okay, that's not true. After Yule swaps, whatever team Yule was in is the interesting team. There we go. Whenever Yule was
But like I really feel like the green team could have had such an amazing elimination with the swap, but Rosa having the idol. But instead, it's just like they're just chilling. It's like you're kidding me.
By the way, to the viewers, I know it sounds all positive for now, but I promise it's going to change pretty soon.
Oh yeah, exactly. We're just saying
calm before the storm.
It's gonna pull out our daggers.
Yeah, God, it really is.
Side story, and I know we're kind of jumping in and out, but side story. When I got the script and Kai wasn't eliminated, I was like celebrating. I was like, yes, because I knew Kai was like a very early boot. It was so obvious to me, and like I was like, oh yes, 3 episodes, I did it.
Right? Yes. Let's go.
I was so happy. I felt bad for Carol though.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, who's Carol again?
Right.
But
Yeah.
Carol
Right.
is like such. Carol's like the Eva archetype, but more interested, and it's just like, oh, they wasted Carol. It's like they could have done
I know.
different direction with her, and it would be been more
Yeah.
like people would like her more than she has. Like she'd have more fans than she has now. I feel like if they did Carol a different direction instead of just making her an Eva.
An older Karen woman is just
But
such an interesting thing to have in this kind of show, right? It's like really interesting.
Right. Yeah.
and she loves animals too, so it's like she's not a whole evil person. It's just like she has a problem
Right.
with people, and it's kind of relatable to a sense of it.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
A few more things. Aiden and Carol, they have like a small bond here, and I was like, oh, it's kind of cute. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's literally
I
like,
know. I like
Nice.
that.
but I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this could be like a
Yeah.
mother-son kind of bond,
Yeah. That's why I was. It was
like
so shocking to me when James did that. I just. I thought they were setting up
James's
something.
move was so bad. Like we can all talk about things. All James had to do was tie the votes, but have Rosa
God.
and them throw the votes on Carol. He goes
Yeah.
privately and talks to them, not publicly. Just say throw
Yeah.
Carol's name out, and then have a tie.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait.
Right.
It's like Aiden's like, you told him to say Carol behind my back. Like
Yes.
he's like, we need to risk it for the tie, but
Right.
yeah. Instead, it's
like-
just like.
So extra for what? I just.
The problem is also
I
decent.
thought he was smarter than that.
I understand the setup because you want Carol out of the game. You want to piss Aiden off, who Aiden just had a bond with Carol. Like I get that's what they were going for, but it's like you don't make James look like an antagonist. You just make him look stupid. It's like why?
Yeah.
Yeah, James,
Right.
It's not. And people are hyping up that move. I'm like, here's the thing. The move is not the worst thing in the world because Aiden and James are still around. It's a good survival move. But if you go to one more elimination, it's gonna blow up in your face. But it's a good like delay at least. Like it's like you survive one, but then you just got to make sure you win the rest. And within Orange's team's track record, I don't think that's like the best investment.
And I feel like it's not even like a bombastic kind of move. It's like for many months, a lot of us said like, "Oh, Carol's the most forgettable character." Because like by episode 6, you're like, "Oh yeah, Carol's in this season, right?" She's not referenced. Whenever Aiden talks about how mad he is at James, it's never in the context of like, "Oh, he voted out Carol." It's just he's ambiguously mad.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It's to the point where when Carol gets mentioned in episode 7,
and being a fan.
Sorry, what? Sorry.
Oh, the mention.
When Carol gets mentioned in episode 7, it's like, "Oh yeah, Carol's in the season." I forgot. Yeah, you go, Imer.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say Aiden's like a fanboy, and I think the idea of having emotions to where it's very explosive, I think would be such a fun concept. And it was like set up, but then it's just like, man, they're booted. We can forget about them. And I feel like that's just a bad sentiment to have whenever you're writing. You want every character to be remembered to a sense because this is a show. You want to have a fan base for every character and like try to have people leaning towards different views because people will like mesh with other people. And I think just like not honoring that idea is just where the writing falls short there also.
Yeah.
And it will come back to bite them when something happens in a future episode.
So exactly, Aiden just I don't know. Aiden and James was like the most controversial thing ever at the time.
I know. Yeah.
There's so many wars, and now we have the Rhea Wars and the Hunter Wars as well. So it's like Final Four. They're all going to war.
I thought that contrast was so well done in this like just to show like okay, Aiden's the more emotional player, but like James is over here like being the more like I guess strategic person. But yeah, I thought they were. Huh?
It doesn't come across that way.
Yeah, it doesn't at all. But like, I don't know. I was hoping more out of that contrast.
Like
later on,
Aiden, is mad at James for voting out Carol, but it's like you had like 2 conversations with Carol. What are you so mad about? Calm down.
Yeah, I know. It's silly.
And it's not even in the context of you and I are at the bottom now. We're gonna get voted out. It's just he's just mad. It's just like
right.
Can it be a bit more character driven? I want to point out Allie is weirdly relevant in these first 2 episodes. In the bike race, she's relevant. In the thing with Connor, she's the last one to fall asleep. Wait, she's the last one to fall asleep. Yeah. It's like, why is she so relevant? Like, okay, no,
right?
I get why, because at the time they probably had a lot of plans for her, but you know what happened,
right?
If you know.
The mystery man.
That later.
Mystery man. We're about to jump into the mystery man very soon.
Yeah. I do
The
remember, like,
mystery
at the
man.
time, Hunt Tally was, like, really, like, people were like, "Oh, this is kind of cute."
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, the scenes in the scene, they were cringy now. They're cringy now, but like,
Yeah. At the time, I was like,
it was kind of cute.
at the time, I
Yeah.
thought it was
They're
like
always
slow
cringy, in
burn.
my opinion.
It's like we were slowly
Right.
chugging up a hill, but then we jump cut, and now the train is broken. It's like, what? I blinked. Why is
Yeah,
the train
the-
broken? What happened? I just blinked.
It's broke.
It's like I blinked for 3 episodes. I wake up and it's just broken. It's like, what happened? How did you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one more thing.
Right.
Something must have happened to break that train.
Yeah, the mystery. It's a real mystery.
Mystery. The
Now-
mystery.
Now, before we go, one more pin. We'll put another pin in this. Hunter says, "Oh, I bought a card game so we can get to know each other. Oh, I got it so I can get to know people." So I was like, "Oh, that's
card
really
game.
cool. That's a really natural way for the
Jpeg, your
writers to."
favorite scene.
It's a very
Oh,
natural
God.
way to like get us to know, Hunter and Allie. That's what they did with Trent and Gwen in Told Drama Island, right? They had the scene where they were bonding. I was like, "Oh, that's so cute." Now I wish they had.
Right.
I wish they showed that scene, but they just didn't. They just
Right.
didn't
Yeah,
exist.
because
It
it's like
didn't.
Hunter has the archetype called the player, and it's like we know he loves these type of games. So it's like when it's playing a card game, this would be something very big for Hunter. But instead, it's just like, nah, we're gonna cut it, and instead we're gonna show Allie dancing, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's a
It-
choice.
And people were
Yeah.
like, "I don't want to see the Hunter and Allie card game because it would have been boring." And my retort is, the characters would have been more interesting if we got to know them better. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Wait, how was that boring? What?
Like
They're
they're
what's
boring
the
because we don't know
entertaining?
them. Like we need to know them more. That's how
Exactly.
characters work.
Yeah.
You know
Exactly.
what would be entertaining though?
What?
Like an Uno game of just like the 4 majority alliance. That would be entertaining in my opinion. You'll just like keep throwing his +4s down just to like piss people off.
Oh my god, yeah.
+4. Hunter just like doesn't know how to play. He pretends he knows how to play.
Right.
Well, no, this Hunter would know how to play.
Yeah.
Well, no, this Hunter would know how to play.
Yeah,
First 2
this
episodes,
Hunter.
Hunter would know how to play.
Yeah.
Episode
Yeah.
7, Tess just like
True,
gives up.
true.
She just,
I
like,
guess.
she doesn't want to play anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're
Yeah.
done with the Awake
Oh, God.
continent, right? Carol goes.
Yeah.
I like Carol. She's cool, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Girl is such a good idea. Like, and I do like wish we could have got more, but I am hoping like maybe we never know the future. There's always something going on. But I do feel like for 2 episodes, Carol left a solid impression, even though she was kind of
Right.
boring. Like there was something like they hinted at, like her being interesting, but then just like nope. Like I do feel like
Yeah.
Carol was the better character than Eva. Hot take, but it's just like we don't get to see her be a more developed character.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's a hot
This
take.
was
That's
definitely
because I don't like Eva.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that's what the drama fans are going for you.
yeah, all 10 of them. I bet the Katie and Sadie fans are also coming.
God, the bar is so in hell.
But yeah, so guys, the highway to hell. I feel like we are currently like one foot as we enter episode 3. We're now 1 foot into the highway to hell. You know what I mean? We're
Oh
almost there.
god. Yeah.
We're getting
Never thought we were
One
aggressive
foot.
taking down episode 2 with James's move. You are not ready for how like
Yeah.
our opinionated we are with the other episodes. So this is
God,
gonna be fun.
For real.
And I forgot to
that
mention
was
it, but
just
also the music got
soft
really,
launch.
the music got really loud in episode 2. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music.
And it's
Oh.
still there. I laugh at it every time.
I don't.
So
Yeah.
loud.
It's a shame too, because episode 2 that's the bonding episode. That's the episode
That's
to
a
like
good
set up
one.
episode.
Yeah.
They would have to. The problem with episode 2 is the audio is attached to the music. So if they got rid of the music, they'd have to have every VA re-record that
That's
episode.
I'd be down for
Funny
that.
as
I wouldn't
heck.
mind doing
So-
that, to be honest. And hey, if we can get
Write that down, Jobber.
okay, I'll tell you what.
Jpeg wants to voice Kai again.
If Joy, who's the voice actor for DCAS Alley, redid DC2, I'd be happy. I would love that, honestly. That'd be amazing.
I would watch
Yeah,
that. Oh,
I would
that'd be
watch
so
it
cool
too.
to see.
She'd be like,
It like
completely
completely changes the
Stop
character.
there, Lone Ranger.
Stop there, Lone Ranger.
Okay, episode 3.
Oh my God.
Episode 3.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, episode
Yeah.
3.
This is still
Okay.
one of my favorites. I'm not gonna lie. It's
Same.
still
I think
one
it's
of
like
my
a
favorites.
very like high tier episode for DC2, like easily.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
like a lot of regards.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some things that are kind of like icky, but if you,
Mhm.
but like there are other aspects.
There you go.
I was gonna say like there are other aspects of the episode regarding certain bonds that grow due to it in a very positive manner, but then obviously like the challenge, like everyone's gonna have mixed like takes on it. And I do agree. I think there could have been altercations if they really wanted this challenge to do things that would make the viewers more comfortable watching it, because it's a very like hard pill to swallow based on allowing certain things.
Yeah. I agree. I think episode 3 gets a lot of hate, and we're gonna get into it. We're gonna explain why, because I know the reason why. But I do think that if you ignore the really disgusting thing, then
Exactly.
it's a
Yeah.
pretty solid episode. I know it's very hard to ignore. I
Yeah.
understand. I understand if people can't ignore it. I totally understand. But yeah,
Right.
I think it's a pretty solid episode
Yeah.
for DC too.
Yeah.
For DC too.
For
Yeah, like there's a
DC2.
lot of great Bond moments.
Standard.
You talk about them now.
I was wrong. Rosa
Yeah.
does mention the fact that Lake did not eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
She
right.
doesn't. Like she does a trivia on Lakes. Like, oh, did you enjoy these pancakes? And Lake's like, they're delicious. And then Rose is like, yeah, we didn't have pancakes today, so Lake's lying to me. And it's such an interesting narrative. I was like, when I was watching, I was like, I forgot this. And I was like, the reason why I forgot this is because it was never mentioned again. And it was just like one of those like,
Yeah. Were they like implying like a eating disorder, or was it more like an implication of like the parental abuse? Like I don't know which direction.
I think it was going to
I
tie
think
into
it's
the
parental
parental
abuse.
abuse. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we do see scenes like Rose is like, if this keeps getting worse, I might have to adopt Blake, which is kind of funny because future episodes.
I feel that Lake's payoff isn't with Rosa; it's with Crystal. So I think like it's like why can't the payoff be with Rosa? That'd be so much better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think Rosa was just the spokesperson of like her problems, I guess. Like just to remind their viewers, like, oh yeah, Lake's dealing with this now. Like, okay. Like I didn't feel like there was like a strong enough connection there.
I like the crystals, and we'll get into that when we go into episode 5 or 6. But yeah, why can't it be Rosa? Rosa's the contestant. Crystal's like not a contestant. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's crazy.
It's not like Rosa has anything going on.
I mean, come on, think about it. Rosa's only 19. Like, how is she supposed to handle this? Like, this is like.
No, I agree. I think it would be an interesting conflict where Rosa tries to help out, but she can't because she's only 19, right? But the narrative doesn't really reference the fact that she's 19 ever.
It doesn't.
It's like we only know it because of supplementary material. Speaking of supplementary material, this retrospective will talk a bit about stuff like the comics and the fandom stuff just soon, because right now there wasn't a big community at the time, so there's not much to talk about at the moment.
Right, so it's like the setting. It's like they're basically on the beach, and it's Rhea is like going to talk about Connor, and she like appreciates like everything he's done, and she said she found him to be quite mature as a person. And Connor's like, really? And this is when Rhea gives like some of the best advice, because he's like, Connor, like, but your way on how you talk as an older individual, you can fit into any conversation for how capable you are. Due to have you're just people can like talk to you for how open you are. And then they start to lean in for the show natural effect. And then Crystal. Crystal, like,
someone's in love.
Yeah, love's in the air on birthday party.
For what it's worth, I do think that Connor and Rhea are the best pair in this season. For what it's worth.
I agree. I definitely agree.
It's a very low bar.
Like, I think Connor Rhea,
little is better.
It's a low bar, but I think the thing at the time, this is not this week criticism of the writing. I feel like the writing struggles for dragging out romance plots. So with a shorter love story, I think the writing is just more refined based on like what the writers were capable at the time.
Yeah, I felt like their conversation was like a really like just like mature against like the conversations we just had before with like Jaden arguing again, and then the whole like Lake stuff, which is good, but like it's like still like teeny kind of stuff with like this. It's like it's something that we never really seen before with like these total drama
Exactly.
Those, yeah.
You're right on the dot, Sam. Because we never get older characters.
Yeah.
Because like if we never had like a younger cast, we'd never have a talk like this. But because they're utilizing their older cast, we can get more deeper narratives, which is why it's exciting whenever you get like a Connor and Rhea scene, because it's like this is where like the writing is different from the show that they're basing off with like inspiration.
Yeah. I agree. I think that like this is Connor is the most well done character of DC too. I don't think that's a hot take. Like, I think that he has the most like full story. He's the most like voice of reason. I don't know. I think Connor's the best character, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
It
Connor
happens
is
in a
like the
very
best
linear
villain.
way too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it helps that he's
Like,
eliminated after episode 3. That helps too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, there's obviously like a good argument for like Lake, but Lake I will say like has the best like long story for like lasting long. But like I think for best story overall and best written, I have to give it to Connor because I just feel like Connor interacts with so much of his team within such a short time, and it just it works well for a short story. And this is I think like should be the head mark for any short stories is basing off Connor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Connor's was definitely the most like they had the most clear direction of where they wanted to take it. Lake comes next, but then like the other ones, like the more slow burn, just like it just falls apart.
Yeah.
You know, throughout the season.
And that's why Connor's an all-star. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is more of a comment of the previous episode 2, but I just wish that Connor's like epiphany didn't happen off screen. He's like, I need to work on myself.
Right.
Okay, I'm back. I worked on myself. It's like, what? Why could that be on screen?
I know, right? Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah.
One comment. You know, I'm trying to be very limited with my Hunter comments so far, but Ali says, oh, we need to take a shower. Obviously, one after the other. And I'm like,
oh, that's so weird. That's like, what?
I'm like,
you know what? I think they're couple goals, and I think they should date for over a year because
foreshadowing
like,
a scene that someone wanted to the mystery person wanted to happen, but luckily didn't end up happening.
Yes, luckily.
Bro,
that is
like
super weird. Yeah.
It is. It's like this is why I was like people are like this is like such a like some people like might defend this pair. I just don't think it's cute. I think it's like maybe a little cute thing for like a summer, but afterwards it's just like it's not a good long lasting pair. Like you can say like they have an interesting dynamic, it's just not interested enough for me to ever root for them.
Yeah.
Like, it's
not having
like,
the card game ruin them. Yeah.
Card game is a meme at this point, but I really do think that if we had the card game, they would have been cute for at least one episode. Instead, we have 0 episodes.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
For real.
Like I know it's a meme, but like the fact that we missed that, like getting to know who these people are as people.
It's serious. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It just went all downhill from there.
I'm gonna be a little serious here, but there was the trailer for episode 3, season 2, episode 3, where Tess drops the pills and Hunter finds the pills. And when I saw it, I was really nervous because I was like, "Oh God, this is very heavy for a cartoon." You know what I mean? Like I was very
Same.
worried.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this episode is fine.
I remember watching it,
but future episodes kind of not so fine.
Yeah, it drops the ball. Yeah.
Like we see like Hunter like immediately just return them. It's like, oh, you dropped this because it's like that's not mine to have. So have it like he gives it back right away.
Oh, good.
And it shows like
I'm glad that he gave them back.
Yeah.
That was the last we ever saw of the pills. You know, just a wholesome moment where, you know, in episode 3.
Yeah, and show the mystery man, the mystery man that we did not talk about.
Oh my gosh.
Because here it's an accident, right? He didn't mean to do anything creepy, right? He just found them. He's like, hey, look, I know what you're going through. You know, my mom went through it as well. It's like, it's cute. I like it here.
Yeah.
I wish it stopped here. I wish this was it. not in terms of the depression. I mean, that was in terms of the Hunter and the pills. That's what I'm referring to.
Yeah. Exactly, I agree. I think if it stopped here with the pills, but maybe like progress like the depression storyline to make it more intriguing to watch, I think that'd be better. But the direction afterwards from 4 to 7 it's a direction for sure. It's just a really bad one.
Yeah.
I disagree. Because like you're implying that there is direction. I think there's no direction.
Exactly. That's the whole point. It's like,
There's no
what
direction.
do we do? Like,
yeah.
I say this a lot, and it's not disrespect, but from DC2, with most of the plots, you can tell there's a lot of toe dipping in the writing. And it's the thing is, like, so many of these plots can be done in the booted earlier, but instead they float because they don't know what to do at the time. It's like, do I toe dip this way or this way? And it's like, I think if this season had a more concise direction, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
I kind of get it because, like, jumping from this scene, like, you would think that I don't know. You would think that it feels kind of complete almost from this scene,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
the direction that they took afterwards though was like no.
That's why I view these
No,
first 3
it
episodes
was
as
not.
like kind of its own trilogy. And in a way, it is. It's
Exactly.
what I will
It's
call the
in
Jared
the vacuum.
trilogy. That's what I'll call it.
The Jared?
Right.
Yeah, it's like
I guess the
this
first
is like
Jared
kind
trilogy.
of
He'll
like
have a
Star
second trilogy.
Wars.
He'll have a second trilogy, I guess. Yeah.
Mhm.
This is his
You know, like Star Wars, how like
Last Jedi.
episode 7 and 9
Sorry,
are
this,
made
yeah.
like the same by director J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
That's what Jared is. The
This is-
J.J.
This
Abrams.
is Jared's The
And
Force
then there's the
Awakening.
Ryan
There's a lot
Johnson.
of good promise here, right?
Yeah.
And then
Exactly.
someone. So Jared, he had the football. He was running towards it. He tossed it to another guy, and the guy fumbled it really badly for like 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jared had to pick up the football and had to like, do damage control.
Yeah.
So
Right.
So enjoy this episode while it
Exactly.
lasts, because this is it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, the challenge. Okay, it could have been better. Like, I mean, it did like. Yeah. It started some drama, but it's just so bad. It's so fan
I think you could
servicey and
scrap
just.
the challenge.
Yeah, it's a very creepy
Like,
challenge.
I mean, I
Just
ate
think
it up
about
as a fan. I ate it up.
But you-
I'm not
yeah,
gonna
it's
lie.
like I wonder what Tim's favorite kisses.
It's so
I wonder.
funny to look at this in hindsight now that DC All Stars has like very survivory sort of challenges. To look at this and be like, wow, we used to be really like total drama.
I think
Oh my god.
a lot of these moments could have happened, but like differently, like within the main plot ones, because there was like kind of setup. Like when I mean differently, I mean like 2 or like maybe 3 for pushing it. But otherwise, it's like I feel like most of them are just done. It's like, oh, we're gonna start so many ships. People have fan art over, and it's like, did you like this ship from this one dialogue? We're gonna fulfill it. And instead, it's just like, nah.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the kisses that they chose, kissing options were just bad for no reason. It's just like there was no point to it.
I think that the one good one, in my opinion, is Kai and Rosa, because it starts drama of like maybe Maggie, because like Maggie likes Kai.
Right.
Now the thing is, we get confessional, not even from Maggie, from Rosa, not even from Maggie herself, which shows how much agency in the narrative Maggie has.
Right.
And 2, it doesn't even go anywhere. It doesn't even go anywhere.
It
doesn't. So what's the point?
It really doesn't. I hate that kiss.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna rank the kisses, that's like my favorite because it has
Maggie
promise.
Thing. It's just like we're gonna do like Rosa kissing Kai, Lake kissing Kai. Oh my god, Maggie's sad. Like
right. It's like
it makes Maggie worse.
Boring writing.
It does.
Poor girl. Also, James and Aiden kiss.
Adding on.
And like I know Aiden's blushing. I know Aiden's blushing, but it's so creepy. It's like James like forces it for more seconds. It's like, dude.
I know.
Why?
Yeah. I think the acknowledgement of that creepiness came like later. Like I know when this episode happened, people were like, "Oh my god, they're kissing!" Like, because like this pairing is obviously set up as like a couple and stuff. But at this point, we kind of didn't know that really, because like Aiden he showed like dislike towards James, so I could see why like in hindsight this kiss was like weird at this point in time. But I don't know.
It's so lame to be like, oh, what was this couple's first kiss? Oh, I was doing a fucking challenge. Because like I feel like the kiss is total drama. Like I'm asexual, so it doesn't really appeal to me. But it's like I get that there's build up. You know what I mean? Like there's long build up to the kiss. But here it's just episode 3, they're forced to kiss. Done. It's like what?
Also, can I say something?
What?
This is a spoiler for episode 4, but
yes, I was gonna bring that up.
Okay, do you want to bring it up, Tam, or do you want me to bring it up?
You bring it up. Poor James. What the fuck? Kisses Allie. Poor
guy. So like Blake and Aiden's first kiss is in the challenge, and it's like James like, oh my god, I took Aiden's first kiss away. And it's like supposed to set up this guilt, but guess where that guilt goes? Where does it go?
Nowhere.
Nowhere.
I feel like there's a lot of plots in DC too, just going nowhere.
Yeah.
There's some amazing setups sometimes.
Oh god.
Like they have a lot to work with. It's just like they don't work with it.
Also, Hunter and Tess are forced to kiss. Very forced because they were forced to kiss. But
very forced.
Not very forced. Are you serious?
But forced to kiss. Seems very obliged. Like they were both happy.
Right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
no,
that
man.
felt.
God.
Yeah, no, Tess is like that felt good. I guess I was dehydrated. Now I'm not because I have saliva in my mouth. It's good.
Which is so gross.
So yeah,
And
kissing
then
challenge.
we need to talk.
Oh, are we gonna
We
talk
also
about
need to
now?
talk about how, yeah, Crystal, she kind of blocked Connor Ria's kiss. And it's like, oh my god, now they get the final kiss, right? Guess what? You blink and you miss it. That is like the most annoying thing
Yeah, that's
I
their
have
that's their
to
first
deal
kiss.
with.
It's like imagine if I don't know, like Gabby and Ellie's first kiss was in like episode 3. Like how would that be? You know what I mean?
In a
Oh
montage. It's not
god.
even a moment. It's just like a quick montage. It's like you could
Yeah,
have montaged maybe an utter kiss that you gave a scene to, but we'll not be talking about
exactly.
it just for the constraint of my mind. Yeah,
Obviously,
Okay.
exactly.
we have the big moment. The
Yeah.
yes, I do.
Oh,
Which like when I read it,
yes.
I was so nervous. I was like, okay, I can't say it's out of character because we don't know this character that well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it just felt undeserved. It's like you're having the big Lindsay moment, but that happened. That took like what 15 episodes of abuse from Heather. Like here, it's like 3 episodes.
Mhm.
Like what?
Right,
It
yeah.
just felt like speed
Um,
running Total Drama. I was like, so we're going through Total Drama's greatest
I
hits.
I
Yeah.
You know,
I do agree. But I mean, with like Kai's elimination being here, I think the pacing of it was fine, I guess. And I liked how like he only went off due to like Yule attacking others. Like instead of like the abuse being directed at him. I like that he just like defended Rosa and Maggie for that reason. Like it really showed a lot about his character. But yeah, I do agree. I do feel like maybe the
Um,
conflict
Another
should have been
thing that
stronger there.
we could mention about this conflict, it does give a cool resolution. Where Connor's like, your job is to protect Maggie. You saw someone in harm and you decided to speak up, and that's a very respectful trait. And it feels like it does like closely in that, even though it is kind of like very like fan like writing, it's like it has a good it's like a solid resolution for his character where he's like, you know what? Even if I have to be peaceful, if I have to yell at times for those who can't, I'm willing to do it now. And that is a
Exactly.
solid like idea.
Yes.
I do
Yeah.
like the fact that we lose Kai and Connor here. They're kind of early boot coded characters, but at the same time, I'm
Yeah.
like, I feel like they were like two of the most like
Right.
satisfying arcs because like it felt like there was direction going there.
Exactly.
So to lose
Right.
them both, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, what's next? Now that that's the end of the Jared trilogy,
Yeah.
it's like, what's next? I'm excited for what's in store next, right?
I
Yeah.
know.
And then
Oh, okay, no, we do have to acknowledge
Now
that
this
I
episode.
made it.
we have to acknowledge I don't like this twist where Kai goes and Chris is like, ha, second elimination. I'm like, come on.
No,
I hate
it's like Survivor
Oh.
Fiji all over again.
I think you mean Cook
Uh,
Islands.
The bottle. Cook Islands, yeah, Cook Islands. Oh yeah, you're right. The bottle
I'm
twist.
like, come on. You're only doing that because we needed a double boot. Come on.
I think that, like I said, there's so many
shoot,
ideas for
yeah.
a double boot they could have done,
Yeah.
but like instead, it's just like very lazy. And this is the only tribal green. Okay, elimination green goes to.
Yeah.
So like it's like they
Right.
could have went to more. Instead, it's just like nope, we're double booting just for the sake of it. Like they could have done a different style of double boot, and I think it would have been way more effective than what they did. Granted, both of them are early characters, so it's like not a huge nitpick,
Yeah.
but still,
Just
it's
kind
like
of feels contrived,
damn.
right? I would have rather
Yeah.
either there is a double elimination and like Connor just gets voted out naturally, right? They're like, "Ha, we're
Mhm.
gonna vote Rhea out," and he's like, "No, vote me out. I volunteer. Save her." Or
Yeah.
or it's just a single elimination and Connor just quits. Like I would much rather have that than whatever contrived stuff
Yeah.
this is. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like though for like Kai's purpose, I'm trying to think of like how would it extend into the other episodes. I mean, I guess it would
Yeah.
give. I don't know.
Yeah, I get
I
that.
guess it would
Like, you
give
want to give
Maggie
time more.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro, Maggie. This is a
but
huge setup for Maggie. Maggie's like, I lost my first crush. That was super.
right.
Well, she kissed other people. We know that, but like, this is like someone who's like willing to defend her. So she's like,
Yeah.
now that she lost one of her big lines of defense, how will she recuperate after this episode? And do you know what that is?
For-
Yeah, how will she?
When I got the episode 4 script, because I appear at the end of the episode, or Kai appears at the end of the episode, and I saw that Maggie was booted, I was like, what? I thought you were
Oh
setting
my
her up for the long
gosh.
game. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god.
god.
Yeah, that
I-
makes a lot of sense.
And then I command F'd Maggie's lines to see how many times her name pops up, and it was like single digits. I was like, what? She has like single digit lines?
Yeah.
What? How?
Oh, that's
I know.
scary.
Yeah. That's
I-
when you like could
but
tell like this season is like it's getting a little misdirected.
I think
Yeah.
it's just like for shock value just for the sake of it, and it's just
Right.
like nah. It's like you could have done
Yeah.
something different if you wanted to
Yeah.
play. Yeah, but I just think they weren't able to take risks and they decided to play safe. And it's like you can't
Exactly.
well they didn't even play safe well. Like they played safe
Yeah.
badly.
Right.
Yeah, total drama, but like you have the comfort of total drama, but not the cleverness of total drama. It's like,
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
You have the ideas, you just don't execute the ideas.
Right.
Oh.
That is
As a
completely
twist,
true.
and it's like
now I want to
Yes.
highlight episode
and
4.
that is a
So we have to acknowledge this. Okay, no, we have to acknowledge the Fresh TV stuff first. So at this point, Fresh TV was like, nope, you can't do that anymore. And Jobbert were like, nope, we're gonna make a comic. And then they realized, nope, you know what? No, we're gonna copyright Disventure Camp so that
Mhm.
now we can legally do this.
Mhm.
yeah.
So they had to make a few
Right.
changes,
'Cause-
but for the most part, it's good. You were saying, Emer?
The thing is also, this is a huge point. You cannot claim a art style. So
Mhm.
that was a big lead about because like what they don't use the
Right.
same characters at all as Total Drama. They use different people. Maybe there's some references that are cut, but you can't be like, oh, they drew just like how I drew it. It's like, in the end of the day, if it's a different drawing, what are you gonna do? Say like, I want to gatekeep this art style. It's like, no, it's for anyone to use art style. And it's like it happens a lot of times. It's like if animes only had they like I can only draw big eyes on my characters. You guys got to just draw super tiny ones. Then like that's an art style. Like you can't just gatekeep it. It's like I think I should be the only one that owns stick figures. I'm like Buster, you can't own stick figures or like stuff like that.
Right. I'm really impressed by like how steady the numbers kept up during this whole debacle. Like, and
Yeah.
I think it was like episode 4 where we still like experienced a lot of growth, or was that episode 6 maybe? But still,
Episode
like
6.
the numbers were still good.
The thing
Yeah.
is, episode
Some is
3 and
solid.
4 didn't even have that big of a gap. In my head, it was like, 3 months with no episode, but it was only like, it was
Right.
less than a month. It was less than a single month. So all that drama happened
That's
in less than a
crazy.
month. And I remember when I got the email saying, nope, guess what, guys? We can make episodes again. I was so happy. I was like, yes, wait.
Oh my
I
gosh.
was like, wait, my character
yes.
just got eliminated. This doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Yeah. This doesn't affect
Oh my
me.
god.
But
That's
other
why you
than
gotta read your 4 other lines.
other than episode 4 and 6 where Kai makes a cameo, for the most part, I'm pretty much a fan for like the rest of the season. So that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like there's one line in episode 6, one line in episode 4, and 2 lines in episode 12, and that's Kai.
Yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
we jump in episode 4, and because of personal reasons that were going on at the time, Jared did not have the hand on the wheel anymore at this point. Like he still
It's so ominous.
directed it, he still produced it, but a mystery person was now, at the head of the line, I guess. Hey everyone, that's all for now for this 3-part BC2 retrospective. Next episode, we're going to focus on episodes 4 to 9. Believe me, it's already been recorded, and we say a lot of unhinged stuff. It's going to be pretty crazy. The analysis is going to be through the roof. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be off the rails. So yeah, please subscribe for more, because we'll be back sooner than you expect. So see you guys next time.